Hello everybody and welcome to the HCW Podcast. This week we are going to be reviewing Friday Night SmackDown, WWE SummerSlam and Monday Night Raw, and then we have AEW Collision and AEW Dynamite. Let's get stuck into this. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello everybody and welcome to the show. I am your host Frozzy alongside Ratewrestle as always. How are you doing this week, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah. Normally I have a follow-on. Yeah, I'm alright. There's nothing else. Life is not as much pain. Yeah, you're dying.
I am not okay, but we will roll with it for this show. We'll get this done.
You know why you're not okay? Because DP is going to be your co-host for the next 2 weeks.
Oh mate, my headaches are going to be even worse, aren't they? The show's going to be 3 hours long. I'm glad we're doing this week and we don't have to do the pay-per-view with him.
To be fair, yeah, thinking about it, because I'll be back for All-In review.
Yeah, I think so.
I won't have notes. No. I'm not writing notes while I'm live.
No, we'll just go through it.
That's
that's
all I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it's going to be. Now it looks, to be fair though, it's quite cheap on Fight for us over here at $14.99. So yeah, no, that's good.
Card's good as well.
Yeah,
and it actually has implications on the actual weekly shows, luckily.
Which was the thing I was worried of not having, which is why I didn't get tickets.
But, you still don't get tickets, really?
Yeah, no, I haven't got time.
They're in the. Join me in the sky.
You're good. I'll watch it on TV.
So will I. There?
Yeah, you paid to watch it on TV that I'm going to get for $14.99.
The experience of me just shouting, you DP, you dick. Imagine if I could get that chant going. Fuck you, DP.
DP's a dick. DP's a dick.
Fuck you, DP.
There's a lot of DP slander on this show so far, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave that in the past and we are going to move straight into Friday Night SmackDown if you want to get us started, right?
Yeah. Friday Night SmackDown, which I watched after SummerSlam because I went back to my usual routine of doing that.
Yeah.
So LA Knight versus Sheamus. It just had a lot of the Battle Royal implications because obviously these two are going to be fighting during the Battle Royal with the others, so there was a lot of shenanigans going on. LA Knight picked up the win because LA Knight's on a roll now and WWE can't stop him.
Yeah. Well, they can. They shouldn't.
Well, they can. And they'll do something stupid. But until now, I rated 2.5 stars because it wasn't great.
No, it was serviceable. It got LA Knight a win against someone who's really, really good when he wants to be Sheamus. So, it's a good win.
Yeah, and then there was a lot of back and throw with Santos and Karrion Kross and Karrion Kross hitting AJ. There was a lot of random stuff happening just to kind of get the Battle Royal over a bit more.
Yeah.
It was only literally a Battle Royale, Slim Jim Battle Royale. There was no reason to win it, was there?
No.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah. Backstage, then we had an argument between the Brawling Brutes and the OC, and then it was, after the argument, it was the Brutes versus the OC. So obviously Butch and, nearly said Cassidy then. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Butch and Ridge Holland versus, it wasn't even the OC, it's the Good Brothers in Miles. Rated 2.25 stars. It was a bit meh, and it ended with the Profits coming down and absolutely waylaying everyone. And I actually was interested in the Profits because they're heelish and they're wearing suits and they look like actual wrestlers, like hard, I wouldn't mess with these kind of guys wrestlers.
Yeah,
and then Lashley came down. And then everyone cheered Lashley, and I don't think he realised that people were going to cheer him. He was trying to be heelish, and it was like, so it's going to be a mix between the Hurt Business and the Nation of Domination. That's what I feel like it's going to be.
Yeah, it's a right random mix-up of people, isn't it? So, I mean, yeah, it should be. Hopefully it gets off the ground, because they've not done that badly with stables when it comes to making... There isn't enough in WWE, I don't think, in terms of stables. There's a lot of tag teams, not 4 or 5 man factions or anything like that, which they could utilise a lot more. They've done quite well with Judgment Day. They've done really well with Bloodline. So, yeah, hopefully they keep pressing forward and making new stables.
Yeah, and hopefully they last them. So Bloodline's been forever. Judgment Day looks like it's not going away, even though there's a bit of dissension.
Yeah.
And then hopefully this one lasts as well. There's rumours. The rumours I've heard are Omos is going to be in it, which probably makes sense to get him with them. It gives him a bit of character. MVP will obviously come along with that.
Yeah.
And then the rumour, but it's not happening yet, was the Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. But obviously he's the champion NXT at the moment, so I think they're waylaying that for a bit.
Yeah.
Tribal Combat was I forget. I didn't watch it in order. Yeah, so Tribal Combat, and they had a package about it with the Samoans, so like Afa and Seeker and Rikishi and so forth, about what it means. And then in the contract, in the terms, it says that no one can interfere in the match.
We'll get to that. There's something else I want to get to as well, but.
And then Jay's in the ring, and then Solo, and then Jay kicks Solo, and that leads to a match later on in the night. Theory is going to beat Santos. That's pretty much what he's saying.
Yeah.
Ray, what have I wrote here? Ray Grimes. Oh, was this a Fatal 4? What the hell's this match? Well, Theory beat Santos plus Ray versus Grimes. I don't remember that match at all. What was that match?
There was a 4-way, wasn't there? I'm sure there was.
Was there a 4-way? Was that? It just doesn't. Do you know when you just does a 4-way, it doesn't compute why there'd be a 4-way? Let me have a quick check.
I'm sure there was a 4-way. Now you're confusing me.
No, Austin Theory defeated Cameron Grimes. I think they were showing the bit that were right. I don't care. It clearly didn't fucking. I rated 2 stars. I think there was a shenanigans with Ray and Santos and stuff like that. I think because Ray's going to turn up. It clearly didn't matter that much. We had Waller TV, Damage Controller on it, and then they're generally going to be speaking, and then all you hear is the Shotzi laugh, and then Waller, because Bailey panics, Waller goes, "I got you." And then out of nowhere, Shotzi's music playing, and Bailey's thinking, "How are you going to get me again?" And then someone drives down in the tank, looking like Shotzi, and then Shotzi's behind Bailey, crew cutted, looking mental, chasing around with buses, absolutely running after these buses. And then it's revealed that Zelina Vega's the person driving the tank. Then we have Zelina versus Io, and Zelina ends up picking up the win because Io gets distracted by Bailey getting absolutely mauled on the top of the entrance ramp by Shotzi. So Vega's on a roll.
And Io doesn't need to win now, she has a briefcase. So
yeah. And we'll find out why. And then we had Jay versus Solo, rated 2.5 stars. It was more story-based about the whole situation. Solo attacks Jay at the end of the match as well, and then Jay waylays him with a chair, and he ends up picking up the win. And that was the end of SmackDown, and it was not great.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was that not memorable. We forgot if there was a 4-way or not. So
yeah, I've written Santos and Ray, and I don't know why I've written Santos and Ray, and I'm really confused by it. That's how important it was.
Yeah, I mean, there was a 4-way not long ago. I'm definitely mixing.
There was 2 4-ways the last 2 weeks prior for the United States Championship thing, which Santos then beat Ray in that match because he waylaid his head. Yeah.
Well, what we'll do is we'll move on to SummerSlam because there's a few talking points here.
Yeah. So SummerSlam kicked off with Ricochet versus Logan Paul. It was better than I expected because I thought it was just going to be Circus Soleil trying to copy the Will Ospreay Ricochet match, but it was a decent match. I rated 3.5 stars. Paul ended up picking up the win after some random no-mark Paul friend gave him some brass knucks, and he absolutely pummeled Ricochet in the face with them and picked up the win. The note of it here is that Paul looked more like a wrestler than Ricochet.
Mad, innit?
Yeah, he looked like Ricochet was the celebrity in the match.
Yeah.
Like Logan Paul's so good. He did a
really
buckshot lariat to the outside.
Yep.
Adam Page needs to retire that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it comes to something when a professional wrestler is worse at his own finisher.
Yeah. and not even like it's not even close.
No,
it's so fluid when he does it,
even close.
and he knows he does it like a dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paul was really good in this match. To be fair, Ricochet wasn't bad. It was just Paul was the kind of shining light of it, and he picked up the win. And I rated 3.5 stars.
Yeah. No, nothing. I was just saying. Yeah.
I thought you were going to carry on with a further comment on the match before I segue into Cody versus Lesnar.
No. This is where I have a gripe. So.
Okay. I rated Cody versus Lesnar 3.5 stars before we get into the gripes. I enjoyed it by the end of it. I really liked it by the end. But the start of it was awful. Because it looked like a WWE 2K game. Do you know when you're trying to... there's someone like you're a really weak wrestler and you're trying to beat someone like Triple H. So you just keep knocking them out the ring hoping for the count out.
Yeah.
And then Cody kept getting up and getting battered even more, and then getting F5 through a table and getting up and getting battered even more. And then it became a match after that.
Was this no DQ?
Oh yeah, are we on about the when he hit him with the steps? Yeah. No, it wasn't no DQ because I've literally written here no DQ question mark.
Yeah.
He hit him with steps.
It's so stupid. Like, why is a chair a weapon and you get DQ'd for it, but steps aren't?
Because it's part of the ring.
Make it make sense.
No, it was good after. Like the general of the match was good at the end, and I did like the handshake situation with Lesnar at the end.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Well, Cody, have you seen Cody's comments? Where he thought that Lesnar was going to deck him.
Yeah. As you would when Brock Lesnar is walking towards you at the end of the match, like, no.
Yeah. But Lesnar lost and Cody won, and now he's gonna continue the story.
Yeah.
Not going to finish it, but he's going to continue
it
until it. Yeah, I'm hoping he never wins. I'm hoping the story never ends. Unless he beats someone like Rollins and stuff. He can't go anywhere near Reigns.
No.
Next up, we had the Battle Royale. So pretty much the only interesting thing on this was the Omos entrance, because they made Omos appear again like a Pokemon. I rated 3 stars. It was a good Battle Royale for a Battle Royale's sake. Omos was pretty good in it. They did the typical thing with like 17 people eliminating, so he looked strong. They carried on a load of stories with Karrion and AJ, which I don't want to carry on, but it happened. Tommaso, Bronson, and Nakamura. Sheamus and LA Knight was the end, which was good because obviously the SmackDown match. And then LA Knight picked up the win, which was even better.
Yeah.
Because that was the only person, like, except for probably Gable. Was Gable in it? Or if I remember, yeah, Gable. He was the only other person that they got was getting not big cheers.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
it was needed. They needed to give LA Knight something. And I know the Battle Royal doesn't mean anything, but it's still good.
Yeah. And at least he threw out some good people like Sheamus and stuff at the end, so at least it wasn't just like random people.
Yeah.
But it was probably one of the better Battle Royals I've seen in a while, because normal Battle Royals, I kind of just zone out at some point and wait until there's a final 4, because it's normally reached, Shayna versus RLC. I rated 2 3/4. If it wasn't Rousey's last match, as in we all knew it was her last match, I might have liked it a bit more, but it was just really obvious. And even like the near falls and the knockout blows, you knew she wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
And then it just ended really abruptly. Just out of nowhere, she just passed out.
Yeah. I don't understand. This would be, if you were doing like a few matches, then fair enough. Then it's a good end. But we know this is Ronda's last match, so why end it this way? Yeah,
I think she was trying to give Shayna the rub, but it wasn't really going to work because we knew she was going to win.
Yeah.
To be fair, Shayna looked really good in it. That's all that matters. And she looked good on Raw, so it's helped her. It's just, it was the worst match on the card, but I think that's one because she's leaving, so we all knew.
Yeah.
We move on to Gunter versus Drew McIntyre. I rated this 4 stars, so I don't think it was as good as the Sheamus match by any kind of capability. But it was still a hard-hitting kind of battering match, and I did enjoy the end where I love when Gunther just decides, you know what, I need to hit everything in one go. Just like flipping power bombs and axle lariats and flipping, and then he's legitly goes straight to the pin. Just like, there you go, good one. Yeah. He's got to beat Honky on the record now. Like,
this was the biggest threat. Like, there literally is no one left to stop him from getting that record now.
So it was a good match. It was probably it was my match of the night.
Yeah,
because it was just hard hitting and fun. And all Gunther matches are hard hitting and fun. We moved into Balor versus... I nearly said Balor versus Belair then. Balor versus Balor... Finn... I've literally writ here. That's what's confused me. I've writ Finn versus Balor.
Oh dear.
That's what confused me. Finn versus Rollins. I rated 3 3/4 stars. It was a really good match. It was very good story-wise. The whole kind of scenario that Finn was by himself and then he's ushered for Damien. Damien's walking down and he kind of wants to help, but he also doesn't.
Yeah.
And then he ushers for... Damien asks for Rhea and Dom to come out and they appear like the flipping Addams family that they are. And there's the interactions. I didn't like that... I liked the near fall aspect because there was one point where I was going, fucking Rollins won. And then he kicked out. And then there was a point where Finn Balor got a near fall and I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ending made me sad. Just because I wanted Balor to win so much.
Yeah.
So, like, it didn't knock off my rating, but, like, when he threw in the briefcase slowly and he picked it up and got curb stomped, and it was, why, Balor, why? Because it would have been made sense in my head that Balor won that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, very good match, though.
Yeah, it was... and they always do have good matches. It was... for me, I thought the way they should have gone was that Balor should have won. And then Priest keeps the briefcase until Balor gets beat, cashes in the night Balor gets beat, brings the belt back to Judgment Day, and Finn Balor kicks off and they lose the shit, and that's the way it goes. And that was what I was convinced was happening, but no. Wrestling.
Yeah. But yeah, it's expanded and Raw, and we'll get there. Oscar versus Belair versus Charlotte. All right, that 3 1/4 stars.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it to a point where Belair hurt a knee, and it was clear in anyone's eye line that steel step did not hit her in the knee. When she got thrown over, her hands were there, and the steel steps are there, and then the knee's over here. The only way she could hit a knee is she was in like a fetus position falling, and she wasn't. And then I knew it was going to happen. I just sensed it. You know, when they started carrying her off, and she's just waiting. Why are they still on the entrance ramp? Why haven't they moved since? And then she comes piling down. I did like the finish that she was in a figure 4 and did the small package kind of thing. But then instantly I knew that Io Shirai was coming down. Like, there was no way that she wasn't cashing in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine, and it kind of it makes me sad that Oscar's been not being used well again. Charlotte was just there not to take the fall.
Yeah.
There was just a lot going on. Io came down and she just beat Belair within like seconds. I rated that 0 because it was I rated it 1/4 because I enjoyed that she won.
Yeah.
But I can't really rate it more than that. What I really liked was prior to it is that Bayley came down like a wrecking crew with that money bank. It's taking out Charlotte, taking out Asuka.
Yeah.
And then I really enjoyed afterwards that they got Dakota Kai in the ring as well. It kind of tear to eye moment. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But Damage Control was actually won.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was like justification for everything since Damage Control have been a thing.
Yeah. Big win.
Yeah.
And then we kick off to the small main event of Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in a trial by combat match.
I genuinely thought the entrances were going to take longer than the match.
Yeah. That's what I like about Roman Reigns match, though. When you see there's like 20, when there's about 40 minutes left, and he's got to come down, so there's only 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. People were moaning that it was very slow paced, but like they're hitting each other with weapons and getting battered, and it's not going to be like you kind of like hit with glass, and I'm just going to continue running at you. That's like you start getting weighed down.
Well, why are people surprised that a Roman Reigns match is slow paced? Like, literally, he's been the same for 3 years.
Yeah, and it's a weird lot of weapons involved. The only thing I didn't like is that they literally specified, and no one can get involved in this match. There's Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
There's Jimmy Uso. And then Jimmy Uso turned on Jay, and the story continues forever. They're just revolving parts. So what'll happen is Jay will they'll have a fight, then they'll become friends. Or Solo will turn on Jimmy and then side with Jay, and then Roman will side with Jay, but then Jimmy will side with Roman and Solo will be by himself, and then Paul Heyman will be by himself, and then another Samoan will spawn. It will last forever.
What I don't like, unless they now go with that Jimmy is jealous of Jay, I don't see how this works.
I feel like what's happened is on SmackDown the week prior, Roman's got into Jimmy's head of saying that the only reason, Jay, that you've stepped up is because Jimmy wasn't here. And then the first thing you want is a title match. Rather than, you've just injured my brother, let's have a title match. It was all for the title rather than, you've injured my brother. I feel like that's where they're probably going to go. And also, Jimmy was supposedly going to be the right-hand man if he wasn't injured originally. So there'll be some jealousy.
It's got to be.
Roman's not supposed to be around for a while as well now.
Well, he's doing TV but he won't be wrestling.
Yeah. Just good.
Yeah,
prolong that title run without having title matches.
Yeah, but we don't need him to wrestle every single week on TV. You just need him to be there.
Yeah. The opposite of Brock, who wasn't there and also didn't wrestle.
Yeah.
So, just needs to be there to make funny quips. That's all I need Roman Reigns for.
Yeah. And then he'll have his match on the pay-per-view.
Oh, he's perfect for memes. Have you seen the Instagram memes when you click on it? It's like, you return to work after 2 weeks of sick leave. Who are you looking? I'm the tribal chief.
Yeah.
That's me. What are you looking at?
So good.
But yeah, that was the end of SummerSlam.
Yeah, which takes us into a 3-hour Raw.
Which the first hour was commercial free. So we kicked off with... it took 8 minutes for someone to actually get down to the ring, and that was Cody Rhodes. He said he should be acknowledged. And then Roman's come down, and then they're going to... the Rollins came out, and they're going to hint at a match between them two. Then the Judgment of Day come out, minus Finn. And they're going to hint at a match with that. And then Zayn comes out, and then there was just kind of a brawl, which ended with... It's going to be a 6-man later on in the night. With Finn... Well, the Judgment Day versus Rollins, Cody, and Zayn.
Yeah.
Which so it was just your typical start to Raw. Yeah. Then we had a Fatal 4-Way, which was, because I've written Fatal 4-Way, it was Riddle, Ciampa, Gable, and someone else.
Nakamura?
He was Nakamura, wasn't he? He fought twice. No, he fought Reed. It was Ricochet. That's why I forgot, because it was Ricochet. I read it 3.25 stars. I think it was my match of the night looking at it, yeah. It was a fun match. Everyone got their crap in. Gable was well over because it was in Minnesota. And I really liked the ending. Did you get to see Raw?
Not all of it.
Basically, the ending was, Gable's finish is the Chaos Theory where he does the roll and the corner rolls them up. He kept going for it, so he'd roll them up in the corner, but then when he's about to lift them, one of the wrestlers will do a double team move on that wrestler, so they'll do like a code breaker. And he'll be like, then he'll grab them and do the Chaos Theory, and then Tommaso Ciampa did like a Billy Gunn Famouser over his head, and he's like, what's happening here? Yeah. Then Tommaso Ciampa went for it, and he did it again and actually picked up the win. And Gable is now your number one contender for the Gunther title, and it's going to be a banger of a match.
It's, yeah, but we know what's going to happen, so...
He's going to win.
Gable is going to get absolutely...
Do you know what I would love?
It's going to be a thing of beauty.
The biggest swerve in wrestling, have it on the night prior to him breaking the record, and then get Gable to beat him. Imagine Gunther's anger and really oh.
Yeah, and then he's just Gable gets the title, shoosh, please.
Yeah, and then Gunther kills him.
Yeah.
And then just decides that this is mine.
Yeah.
Zayn, Cody, and Rollins are backstage. It's pretty much of they're arguing, Cody and Rollins, but then they've got the same enemy and they're going to work together. Reed versus Nakamura is pretty decent. I rated 2 3/4. Nakamura's getting pushed slightly now, and it's good for him to beat Reed because Reed's a dominant guy, so it kind of proves Nakamura went clean as well, which is good for. Obviously, it doesn't help Reed that much, but at least it helps Nakamura kind of move forward. Maxine is backstage with Ludwig Kaiser, and Ludwig Kaiser's got the hots for Maxine, and he keeps hinting at it, and then Maxine goes, ew, which I do remember that point, and then Ludwig says, they've got no potential and so forth like that, and then she slaps him, and then Otis is behind him and challenges him to a match later on. Becky comes down to the ring, and then I asked this on Twitter. So Becky came down to the ring, and then 17 things happened before Becky was shown back on the screen. And I want to know, on a live Raw, what do people do? Like, in the ring? Like, you'll have, like, two wrestlers in the ring that are due to face each other. Like, just stand there for 10 minutes.
They'll stand there until the packages end, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, what, the live audience just watching them stand and look at each other for 10 minutes?
No, they're watching the packages on the screen.
There's no way you're not going, why are these two just staring at each other? Like, I'd be really confused. Like,
I've been to a live Raw and a live SmackDown. This is what
happens. Just stand there.
Yeah, they
literally just stand there.
They're just in the ring. They just like lean on the ropes and watch the screen like everyone else. There's nothing you can do.
What a backwards way of doing things. Yeah. Just fucking have them come out after the package.
Yeah.
Or have the entrance start and then show the package and then they've come down to the ring and at least there's a bit of like, or they just do the I'll do something. Sounds silly.
Yeah.
Becky is discussing the Trish thing. Then Zoe comes down and says that Becky's obsessed, which to fair she is. She's obsessed with thingy, and then Zoe does throw out the point that, you know, you've already lost to Trish, you already lost to me, even though she lost. Becky picked up the reverse win. And then Shayna comes down looking like the goon from the Sean William Scott film.
Yeah. Like,
literally black eye, flipping cast on her arm. Absolutely looks horrid. Becky went, "You look horrible." Genuinely, it's the first time she's seen her. And then this is going to eventually lead into a match between Shayna and Zoe. They're both in the ring, and then we have 55 packages on screen, and that's why I was like, "What are them?" Like, staring at each other. JD is with Finn backstage, and then the Judgment Day speak, and then you go, "This isn't like JD business, you know, Judgment Day business." And Finn's basically said, "We need to get rid of that Money in the Bank briefcase. That's what's causing the issue." And then JD agrees with it. Zoe beat Zoe versus Shayna. Shayna won by distraction from Becky Lynch. Rated 2.5 stars. It was fine.
Yeah.
Decent match. JD is absolutely whamming Sami Zayn backstage. So Sami is now injured. Otis versus Ludwig are right through 1 3/4. It was a pretty pants match. Ended with a distraction, and they picked up the win, and Gunther waylaid him after that. Seth is wondering who's going to be his partner, and then Nakamura decides that, you know, they can work together, and then Seth said he respects him, so that's going to be the match. Miz TV. Miz says
was so good.
Yeah. So Miz TV, LA Knight comes down, and Miz is like on a tirade due to that LA Knight is just a flash in the pan kind of like attitude, wannabe cosplayer. What's he done in the last 20 years? Miz has been around here. And then LA replies back, like, the only reason you're around here is because you're safe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dangerous man, you're a safe, kind of like, you're not going to do anything. You know, while you were getting like thrown out of locker rooms and so forth, I was working my way up on the indies, waiting for that one chance. Then Miz kind of gets absolutely
ballistic.
Yeah, like absolutely irate about this whole situation. And then LA just talks more crap to him. And then did it end with Miz trying to attack LA Knight and him in the
he went to hit the skull crushing finale.
Yeah.
And then LA Knight reversed it into his own finisher, and I always forget what you call it. Is it blunt force trauma? I think.
Blunt force trauma, yeah. I think it goes by the BFT now or something like that, though. I think we're trying to get over.
It was a nice little reversal, to be fair, because them moves work together.
What I like about his finisher as well, it's like Austin's. I know it's going down the attitude era of like he's trying to rip off Austin and Rock, but the finisher you can hit out of nowhere. It's just a gut and then slam your face. It's like you don't need to go into like a hooking position. It's like RKO. You just can hit it.
Yeah.
Whereas skull crushing finale, you can't. It's just you need to be in that position.
With that whole segment, the Miz came out better from that than LA Knight did. Well, I thought the Miz was so good here. Yeah,
Miz is a good talker. He just doesn't get enough. He gets put in this position of Miz TV where he's helping other people, and sometimes it's great with LA Knight, but then sometimes it's all Miz TV with Becky Lynch. How's that going to help the Miz?
Yeah, it's like it needs to be going somewhere with Miz, and it needs to, like if he believes in what is about to happen, then he's really, really good for the entire thing. if he's not a believer, the matches are average, his promos are average, and it's just, yeah. But he can see LA Knight's going somewhere, and he's like, right, okay, let's get him there.
Let's coattails this. Let's go.
Yeah. It keeps the Miz relevant, but it also helps get LA Knight to where he needs to be.
Yeah, Miz is a big enough star to help LA Knight. It's not like him fighting someone lower down the card.
Yeah.
Viking Raiders versus the New Day. I rated 2.5 stars. The New Day won. Surprise, surprise.
The Viking Raiders lose again.
Becky and Shayna backstage, and Shayna says, you know, I've got a big buck of grudges and you're on it as well, basically, was the general gist of it. And then the New Day are backstage and cut a really good promo about, like, you know, everyone's breaking up and, you know, we're here to kind of save the day and stuff, which they pretty much are. Yeah. And then Sonya Deville is injured. Just a Titantron package. Her ACL, she's going to be out. Wow. That's how... He's had a big title win, and then it's just ACL, it's going to be out. We'll sort it out next week.
Them tag titles are cursed, man.
Who are they going to give him now? Don't come back to Liv. Well, I can't. Liv's injured as well. Just give them Alba Fire. Dave disappeared, by the way. Yeah. In Yoli Union. And Casey and Flippy Katana, they've disappeared.
Lost to Ronda and Shayna, who were never seen again. What I'd do at this point is I'd just give them to... Oh, no, Dakota Kai's injured. I was going to say give them Bayley and Dakota, but you can't.
There's a rumour, which I would like, that Cora Jade's going to join Damage Control.
In that case, give them to Bayley and Cora if that's going to happen. But
yeah,
I feel like if you give Damage Control the belts... It legitimises it even
Judgment
more.
Day scenario, like it makes them look better. Then we had Raquel and Rhea have a confrontation, big brawl. Then Candice LeRae got involved and absolutely tried to waylay Rhea, and then in the art while it was pretty much just Rhea Ripley's like a honey badger, just taking on everyone, going, "I'll fight you all!"
Yeah,
go on. He's like an absolute psychopath.
Well, that match has still got to happen, hasn't it, Rhea and Raquel?
Yeah, at some point in the future. Oh, and there was a part where Raquel was injured and she can't fight yet. I didn't write it down, but yeah, there was that was somewhere.
They keep just the
6-man tag, 3 stars. It was fine. Cody Rhodes, Seth, and Nakamura won. And I thought JD Madonna was going to come down, but they've kind of done the smart thing of not having him in every part of the show yet.
Yeah.
Gone in. And also, did you know Rhea Ripley had a JD written on her cheek
for Judgment Day?
Judgment Day, but also JD Madonna.
No, absolutely not.
But it was JD and M was there. But yeah, Raw was decent. Like it was long, but it was decent.
Yeah, and while I'm thinking about it, and we've ended there, congratulations to Rhea Ripley and Buddy Murphy on their engagement. Because that is a thing now. It's
because Buddy Murphy only proposed because, you know, he realised Dom was getting too close and he needed to get that bag.
Prison Dom's there, dirty Dom.
Prison Dom was gonna take over when storylines become legit, like Stephanie and Triple H.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the end of Raw, so we will move straight into Saturday Night Collision.
Saturday. Kicked off with FTR versus Big Cage. Rated 3.25 stars. It was the best match you're ever going to see of that tag team of Big Bill and flipping Brian Cage. It ended with the Big Rig. FTR picked up the win. Then they challenged the Bucks to All In. Yes.
So glad I'm not going.
Yeah, the Bucks are getting on my nerves at the moment. They just need to go on. Everyone gets. Yeah.
They just need to go away.
Yeah, it's just a lot of. They just. Yeah, I can't explain it. I like the Bucks, but they're just annoying me at this moment in time. We had the Bang Bang Gang backstage with Card Blade. Jay White hits Card Blade, and then Juice walks off with going, Card Blade, no! He's fighting Metalik tonight, and then the Guns are going to be on commentary. Statlander versus Martinez are at 2 3/4. Martinez ended up losing, obviously, but then she battered Chris Statlander, and then Diamante came down, who I forgot even worked for AEW. who you thought was going to help Chris Statlander, but then she battered Chris Statlander, and then Willow Nightingale came down to even the odds, and there's going to be a tag team match this Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, on Collision.
Tony Storm is now Marilyn Monroe. Just a weird backstage vibe promo where she was having a breakdown, kind of, and, you know, it was interesting.
Yeah, move on.
Samoa Joe versus Pentagon, rated 0 stars because Samoa Joe won within 7 seconds flat. Then he challenged CM Punk for All In.
Yeah, something else I don't want to see.
You're not seeing it because you're not there.
Well, no, I'm on TV, aren't I? So I am going to see it, but it's just something I don't want to see.
It'll be good.
No, well,
Everything's going to be good.
20 years ago it would have been fine. Not now.
I can't wait to see all 15 matches. There's no UK guys announced yet.
There is.
We had the Acclaim.
No, there isn't, I suppose.
Yeah. The Acclaim backstage promo. Billy retired because he blames himself. But the Acclaim blame themselves. Billy hasn't retired, has he?
No.
Billy should be retired.
Yeah.
Hobbs. Hobbs. I keep calling the House of Black versus. I've called them the Creator Wrestle Special. That's what they are. That team of Dante Martin, Darius Martin, Action Andretti, and I think it was Vikingo this time. Just Creator Wrestle, like random button mashing.
Yeah.
Rated 2 3/4 because it's still good matches. The House of Black rule for this one was that Julia Hart was banned from ringside, which is pretty smart. But they were never going to lose.
No.
Hobbs is backstage with QT. QT gives him a massive gold chain and says he's going to help him out with a big opponent at All Out, not All In. I don't know if he meant All In, but it's going to be All Out. And then Hobbs says, I don't need your help, but I'll have the gold. Christian Cage, the promo of the show. Did you see this?
I don't know. I saw something earlier which may have been one from Dynamite, so probably not.
Christian Cage and his daughter.
Oh, was that Collision? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christian
I've seen
his
this.
Daughter. So good. Christian Cage is with his daughter and Luchasaurus. He's just speaking about general stuff, and then his daughter grabs his belt and he goes, "What are you doing? This is my belt. Are you the TNT champion?" And he goes, "You can never touch your belt. Go speak to your mother. Go over there." And then she walks off, and then Tony Schiavone's like, "You're a dick," very much. Like, "What are you doing?" And then Christian Cage is going, "Security, she's got no credentials. Kick her out the door."
Yeah, so good.
Well, it's the best part of Christian Cage so far, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually liking this spin of him just thinking because the world champion. It's so deluded.
Yeah.
So good.
And Luchasaurus just stands there and lets him do it.
Yeah. Just like, yeah, okay. Metalik versus White are rated 2 1/4 stars because it was pants, really. Metalik lost, clearly.
Yeah.
And then we had Punk versus Ricky Starks with the special enforcer of Steamboat. I rated it 3 stars, I believe. I've just not read it. I wasn't that arsed by this match. Punk ended up winning. I don't remember much of this match. I don't think much even really happened. I know the ref got knocked out and then Steamboat came in to count the fall, and it was a really fast count, if I remember.
Right.
And then Starks attacked Steamboat. And then Punk saved Steamboat. And that was the end of Collision.
Yeah, so I don't get it. I also don't understand why Punk and FTR are getting a trios title match.
Wrestling?
Because, yeah, why? And they're obviously not going to win, I don't think, either. I don't think they'll give them the belts.
Yeah, it would make no sense to give them the belts because they like need the belts forever, for a bit anyway. So.
But yeah, I mean, Collision's just a weird show to me. There's no real direction yet, which I expected them to have now.
They just have good matches every other week. So not every week, but every other week you'll have a 4-star match randomly on the show.
Yeah, but there's no real like storylines going. Which is...
There is. Diamante and Mercedes Martinez are now a tag team.
Right, let's move on to Dynamite.
Will Hobbs and QT Marshall. Oh god. We start Dynamite off with the Jazz Society. They come down, they invite Chris down, and basically they all individually leave Chris Jericho by saying just random crap to Chris. They just don't want to be there. Jake Hager respected him, but he gave him his hat and left. Daniel Garcia said, I trusted you and you did nothing back, and he did his dance and left. They should never give Tay Conti a mic. Ever. She's the worst promo in the world, and her accent makes it worse. She can't speak English.
It's very broken English, but yeah.
It's very it's extremely broken, like delete broken. That's how bad it is. Everyone leaves him. And then to top it off, Guevara says, "I'd never walk out on you, Chris. I've just lost respect on you." Then he walks out on him. Made no sense. So that's a thing. Then Callis and Chris Jericho backstage, and Chris Jericho says, "I've got an answer for you, or I'll tell you next week on Dynamite." Chris Jericho's not joining that family. Because they keep hinting. You swerve the fuck out of it, yeah.
Well, it's going to leave Jericho to Ospreay, isn't it? That's what's going to happen All In, so...
Yeah. Hardy Boys versus the Buckaroonies. I rate this match 2 3/4. There was a few reasons. One, the Bucks matches are now just getting to the point where no tags are involved. Like, they're still fun matches-ish, but they're kind of getting the same, even like to that point.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing Jeff Hardy wrestle anymore, I'm going to be honest.
No, me neither.
Because he worries me every time he does something. Like, he gets on the rope and I'm worried, is he going to be okay? Is he fine? Like, and then he does something. Yeah.
Is he going to fall off?
Yeah, I don't want that in wrestling anymore. I don't want to look at him and go, is he going to be fine?
Yeah.
And then the finish made zero sense. Because Nick Jackson got twister fainted by Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Then he got twister fainted by Jeff Hardy. And then Jeff's about to do a swanton. He gets super kicked off there. And then Nick Jackson suddenly miraculously is fine and does a BTE trigger. And it's like, you've just been finished 2 finishes. And 2 seconds later you get up and do a BTE trigger. It made no sense.
No, it doesn't. It never makes sense.
And then FTR came out, and then it's the official that it's going to be the Young Bucks versus FTR All In. MJF and Cole for another great vignette. So MJF and Cole meet up, and then they're like, we're going to celebrate our All In main event. And then MJF says, you told us to come up in shorts, so I'm assuming we're going to come up here and nail some rats, like his typical thing. And then Cole goes, no. We're going to do this. And it pans out and it's a trampoline park.
Yeah.
And MJF's like, what the And then it goes into there and Cole's jumping up and down on the trampoline and MJF's just standing with his arms crossed.
Yeah.
And he's going, look how fun it is, there's games, there's trampoline and bouncing. And he says, there's dodgeball. And MJF goes, dodgeball? Actually, I might enjoy this. And it's just MJF for like a minute throwing dodgeballs at kids and calling them names and going, I jagged your mom, and they do the dodgeball hitting people in the face. And then eventually he gets told off, but one of them kind of takes the mick out of Cole and they throw one last dodgeball at this kid. Best part of Dynamite.
It really is. They are the best part of Dynamite at the minute.
Yeah, what happened is the kid calls MJF and Cole nerds. And then that's what turns, and he fucking throws one last dodgeball. BCC are backstage. They're just on about violence, and they injured Pac. So he's going to be out and miss All In, which is pretty sad that Pac's going to miss All In. RVD versus Jack Perry. I rate this 3/4, 3 stars. I actually enjoyed it because it was actually good. RVD actually looked like old school RVD doing like twisting moonsaults and. Like, he looks like he can still do the stuff and it actually happens. Yeah. It's like the opposite of him and Jeff Hardy. Old school Jeff Hardy could do a whisper in the wind where he'd run up the rope really quickly and do it.
Yeah.
On the show, he had to climb the rope and then do it. Whereas RVD did his usual springboard crap, doing flipping twisting leg drops into the barricade and stuff like that. Referee got knocked out, and it's no disqualification because it's an FTW match, so it makes sense. Got knocked out by a chair. Audrey Hepburn comes down in all her glory, running down to the ring after a 5-star frog splash, 2 count, and then Jack Perry wins with a roll up and grabbing the tights. It was good. Jack Perry looked good. RVD looked good, and it made sense. This one-off match was fine because it was a good match.
Yeah, fair.
Lucha Bros are backstage. They basically said BCC disrespected Pac, and that was the whole point of this. MJF and Cole are in the ring, and Cole was about to say stuff to MJF, and we need to do this. And then MJF out of nowhere goes, I know what you want. You want a promo battle? And then he starts absolutely ripping the shit about Adam Cole. And then Cole goes, no, that's not what I want. And MJF was like, oh, my bad, man. And what's going to happen is Cole says, we lost out on the FTR tag team titles, but, there's another set of tag team titles. And, they're in my heart because obviously he was in Ring of Honor, and the only championship he didn't win in Ring of Honor was the tag team titles. So in the 0 hour of All In, we're going to have MJF and Adam Cole versus Aussie Open.
Nice.
So you're going to have 2 bouts of Adam Cole versus MJF to bookmark the show. They're going to win it as well.
Yeah, I think they might.
And then Strong comes out, and obviously he's really annoyed that he was going like, why are you asking him to be your tag team partner for Ring of Honor? Oh, it was me. The Kingdom were right, you're and MJF basically calls him a generic white guy. He goes, do what generic white guys do, cry, go home, cry into your pillar, put on your Taylor Swift and shake it off, bitch. Yeah. And then Strong is hugging Taven and Bennett on the thing, and then Cole pushes MJF and goes, well, why did you do that for, and stuff like that, and they eventually hug. So there is a bit of animosity they're hinting at.
Yeah.
What's either going to happen is that Strong is going to cost Cole the title, or Strong is going to help Cole win the title, and then it's going to be the Kingdom again, which is Cole, Strong, and them two. Yeah. And then eventually Riley will turn up again, and there'll be like a 5-way, I'm guessing. Would they need a legit faction? That's a legit faction.
Yeah.
Cole, Strong, Riley, and the original Kingdom. Oh.
100%.
And Maria Bennett. Oh. Oh no, Maria Kanellis now. Kanellis Bennett. I don't know. It might be double barrel.
It's Kanellis.
Then we have the BCC versus Lucha Bros, my match of the night, because it was always going to be, because Moxley, Claudio versus Lucha Bros. Absolute just chaos. They eventually win the BCC, and then they attack, absolutely batter the Lucha Bros, demask Penta, and then Claudio just puts the mask on. He's just running around beating people up with the mask on. Looks so good. Then we had backstage Omega with Officer Barbrady, and Officer Barbrady's going like, the Young Bucks are going to fold your finger. What are you doing at All In? And he went, I'll let you know next week. And he's going, give me the scoop, come on, give me that. And then Omega walks out because no one cares about Officer Barbrady. Yeah. Mogul Embassy are in the ring, and he says, we're legit and stuff like that. And then Darby gets invited out, and then it ends up being a brawl, and then they're saved by It's Steve! And then he beats up 15 fucking members of Mogul Embassy. And it's now going to be a tag match at All In, which is going to be Darby and Sting versus Swerve and AR Fox.
Cool.
I get to see Sting live. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's probably the only saving grace to that match.
It's Sting!
Oh, God.
If I don't hear that live, I'll be pissed.
Well, you're not going to hear it live, are you?
Yeah, but it might come on the mic.
No.
Just from commentary for no reason.
No.
Give the Wembley, it's Sting!
No.
And then we had the main event of Shida versus Jay. I rated it 2.25 stars. It was not needed to be the main event. Shida won, and with the most botched finish. Have you seen the finish?
Yes, I have. It is not good.
I don't know what was the plan of that finish. Was he supposed to put his arm on her arm on the rope, or was he holding down her arm so she lost? And there's going to be like, I don't know what the finish was.
No, no one does.
Like, he held her arm down.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
It was awful.
I don't know. That was Dynamite.
Yeah, the ending. They ruined it. They've ruined an alright Dynamite with dog shit ending.
Well, yeah, it was a very, very botched. And I don't think it's AEW's fault. It was just very, very botched.
I just wouldn't have put that match main event anyway, but, you know.
Yeah, I had the BCC versus Lucha Bros and the thing as the main event, as in I thought that was going to be the main event, because I thought Jack Perry and Thingy would kick it off, but they kicked off with the Young Bucks Hardys.
Yeah, it happens, but it's been a long week in wrestling, so what we are going to do, though, is cut it there, because there's nothing else to talk about. Nice. And, yeah, we will wrap it up. So, if you like to follow us on our socials, you have got HCW Show on Twitch, the HCW Show on Twitter, Instagram HCW Show, Facebook HCW Show, and whatever that fucking thing is, Threads, HCW Show are on there as well. We've got my individual Twitter handle, Rates is over there. Follow us, like, subscribe, get in the Discord, comment on the YouTube, let us know what you like and what you don't like. We will keep doing what we're doing. But from me, it is good night, and we will catch you on the next one.